Ugh.
Oh, really?
Well, ladies, it's so wonderful to be here with my fabulous spiritual warrior, Matriots, as opposed to Patriots. Thank you, Carole, for that term. I think it's very appropriate for all of us to be here. And I'm so honored to be here with Eden Kaz, with Lisa Schermerhorn, and with Carole Maureen Friesen from the Lightworkers Institute. And at this point, I would like each of you to introduce yourself. Eden, would you like to
Oh,
start out?
yes, indeed. And I will say out loud, I'm so glad to be here with everybody. Oh, I just feel so good. So, I am what's called a soul realignment specialist. So, I dig deep into your being to help people find ways from addiction, depression, anxiety, so it can go to that human level, yet also using Reiki and meditation and lots of other modalities to just basically to heal. And also for those that are ready to reconnect them with all that is going on in our world. And I am like I've been doing my podcast, Just Be Spiritual Boom, for 3 years because I cannot shut up about the Great Awakening and what is happening in our world relating to politics, to education, Western medicine, and galactic, and everything that's going on. Okay, did I explain myself pretty well?
You
I
forgot
think so.
one big
Oh,
thing.
let's go. Is it the thing that you and I do together?
Well, that I was going to mention anyway, but
Yes.
she is a survivor of a near-death
Oh,
experience.
yeah. Okay.
Just
Just
that.
that.
Just
Yeah, just that
that.
little point
Yeah, she's a
too.
survivor of what, fourth stage cancer?
Yeah, well, they said it was stage four cancer. It wasn't stage four cancer. So my connection to God and to faith was already really big anyway. That just really, I have no fear about what's happening in the world because I also believe that we shouldn't at that point anyway. Oh, and yeah, Lisa and I both do COVID vaccines, spiritual healings, which is amazing. So yeah, there's lots of stuff. So hopefully this is kind of highlighting everything. Thank you, Lisa, for bringing that up because that is important. Thank you.
What's the name of your podcast? It's on
My
Grassroots.
podcast, it's on Grassroots as well. It's Just Be Spiritual Boom, and my company is Just Be as well.
And she makes awesome t-shirts.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Trump Matrix Breaker. Not political unless you want
Now,
it to be.
now you can put I am a matriot.
Oh, I love that. Thank you, Carole.
Carole?
I love that.
Trump's matriots.
And I've
Yes.
had such a pleasure meeting Carole on numerous occasions and spending a lot of time with her. And you want to tell us a little bit about your Lightworkers Institute and what you do, Carole?
Yeah, well, I'm Carole Maureen Friesen, and I have Heaven and Earth Sanctuary, home of the Lightworkers Institute here in Costa Rica. So I have a retreat center that I run my own trainings at, 2 week, 14-day trainings, and also rent it out to other practitioners that want to come to Costa Rica to a down to earth, really grassroots, if you want to call it, type of retreat center. I've got 10 acres along Rio Chirripó, Chirripó meaning eternal waters. So we're definitely a vortex here, and I'm up in the mountains, so we're quite a bit cooler than the beaches. So yeah, and the Lightworkers Institute, I train people to clear their body and in using psychosomatic therapy, and that meaning the psyche or the soul's consciousness in the human flesh, and how to clear it physically, tangibly through the chakra systems of the face, the hands, the body, the feet. And it's the base to all body language. It's the true sacred body language because it's not just gestures, but it definitely is gestures. So yeah, to free ourselves up and to really understand the messages from the body and where our issues are in our tissues. And so I also teach psychosomatic numerology and galactic signature blueprint, which is to me the highest level in the right brain function, our creative side. And we're all making up a story, what might as well make up a good one. And it's through Mayan astrology, you might call it, with years and years of studying cosmology. So yeah, and it's there's so much we can talk about. But I don't believe in, I don't help, I'm not a healer, I'm a holer. So I believe that a lot of people, with their insecurities, they walk around like Swiss cheese, and then negative energy can come in. But if you expand your energy field, you don't need to put up boundaries, because then it's limited. So yeah, and I don't help anyone and I don't support anyone. I empower them because they have the power within. And for us to take back our power is to heal thyself first and foremost, and then you can assist others. So it's actually self-development, but people can take it further to a level of practitioner, master practitioner, or a diploma in teaching psychosomatic therapy through the college that I've been working with for 24 years, which is the Psychosomatic Therapy College in Australia. And I worked with the founder for 14 years, brought him into Canada and United States. And we did a lot of the expos, like Conscious Life Expo, and spoke at there, and read faces, because something we could do in 10 minutes and it changed people's lives, because we could look in their eyes and tell them exactly who they were by bone structure, the sacred geometry and color of the eyes, and what their lips meant. And, people would have a huge emotional release within a few minutes. And I still get calls and emails from people that, you changed my life 15 years ago, because everyone just wants to be seen and accepted for who they are. And we, first and foremost, need to do that by looking in the mirror and accept the person you see every day in the mirror of our life. And it comes back to loving the skin we're in. So yeah, that's about me. And thank you, ladies, for being here. It's yeah, when Eden got a hold of me, I says, why don't we do a round table? Everyone, a lot of people do round tables, and we haven't done too many of these on, at least with us four, that's for sure. So yeah, thank you, Michelle, for hosting us.
Well, no, thank you all for being here, because I just love you all. And when we're together, the energies, they just rise so greatly and the frequencies come up. And Lisa.
Yeah.
My fellow Huna.
Yes, Masa Waka. And so we're both Hunas through Huna Flash, and I'll let Michelle talk more about that. But we met through the Lewis Herm's Truth Tour, and we actually got to do a cracking together. That was life-changing for me, I have to say, about really severing the deep state and its ability to connect throughout the earth, and breaking down systems. But Carole and I had a chance, along with Michelle, to stay together, and Eden, when we were down in Tampa between Helene and Milton. We were sandwiched between Helene and Milton. And I loved, Carole gave me so much insight as to who I am, and I got to experience some things that I've never experienced before. And I got a waxing, I got honey in my eyes. I'm still doing the honey every night. I do it, and as they burn, I go, thank you, Carole. But it actually is getting better and better, and learned so much. I had my Mayan astrology done. She really offers so much, and I really highly recommend her work. I actually started doing this work 25 years ago because this work saved my life. And I started out, I was having a nervous breakdown and I was suicidal, and I was going from therapist to therapist to therapist, and no one was helping me. And someone suggested a hypnotist, and she changed my life. So I went on to become a hypnotist, and then studied mediumship, neuro-linguistic programming, energy medicine, you name it. And I realized I wanted to become the person that I was looking for 20 years ago when I was searching so much. So I work with the unconscious mind with belief systems that people carry. I also work with ancestral belief systems that are inherited, and also past lives. So it's a combination of a lot of different layers that people work with. And I also am a quantum healer, where I'm helping, along with Eden, is removing of doing this quantum healing that removes the negative effects of the COVID vaccine. And the crazy thing is, and I told this story when we first got on, before we started recording, there was a woman who had heart damage from the vaccine, and she had 2 pacemakers put in, and her heart monitor was reading about 60. And right after the healing, her heart regulated and normalized. And
Wow.
she was shocked. So it went from 60 to 70, and she goes, my pacemaker's not working right now because it doesn't need to be working. My heart's beating on its own.
Mm.
So there's so many powerful healings, and I work with a woman called Honey C. Golden, who's also a really amazing healer, and we do group healings once a month. So our next healing, I don't know when this is going out, but is October 25th, but we do two at the end of every month so people can come on. There's a library there where they can do the healings from the library and join us for future ones. But anyway, love this group of women, so powerful and so loving and heart-centered. So privileged to be here. Thank you.
And thank you for being here.
Yeah.
And I'm Michelle Schiau, also Huna Himanakuya. And with Huna means is one of the many and many of the one. And we are all of the law of one, and we are all connected, and we are all one. And if we think in terms of everything that we do affects everybody else that's in this universe, and everything that they do affects us. So it's how we take that information in and how we project it. So do we want to project the good, or do we want to project the evil? And we are in a spiritual war right now. Now, as Himanakuya, we all come into this world with an essence in us. So we all have this that we bring forth. And my name, well, it's not my name, it's my essence, the Himanakuya. And what it means is grandmother of the first fire, of the first light of the many, she who sparks and lights all. So I have to bring that energy. I am bringing that energy forth. And we have our grandmother influences that we are really looking forward to projecting into this entire universe to connect the mother, because the deep state and cabal have taken the mother out of our system. They've made it a patriarch system. And these are the energies that we need to bring forth so that we can create more, because it's through the mother's womb, through the earth's womb, that we are doing all creation. And what the Hunas are doing is they're changing the earth grids, taking and reseeding the codes, removing the old codes and planting the new. And as we go forward, we're seeing that in all aspects of our lives, especially with the political climate right now and the energetic climate right now. So I think we should all just really relish our Matriot energy.
Yes.
And really just let it glow and flow.
Well, what I want to add is the first time that I got a chance to meet Michelle, and I participated in a ritual in Las Vegas. And this is how powerful that work is. You can't unsee it once you've seen it. And to really understand, we were in Las Vegas. It was summertime. It doesn't rain. And we went
July.
out. It was July, yeah. And we walked around, what was that obelisk, the tower? Do you remember the name of it?
I don't, the
The
stratosphere.
stratosphere.
Stratosphere. So we walked around that and did a ritual. And I remember when I stopped, I literally looked down and on the pavement said, "You are loved."
Yeah.
It was amazing. And it started to sprinkle. We had a rainbow. And then that night was a double rainbow.
Right.
And after we left, it poured in Las Vegas, and some of the buildings flooded.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Katie Rains left and went to the Denver airport right after that and did another ritual there, I think in front of Lucifer, the
Yep.
horse.
Yep.
And
Ooh.
it poured in Denver and flooded the airport and flooded downtown Denver.
Yeah. So the ceremonies that we do, and it's going back to Lemuria, where it was before confusion, before manipulation. And it's to just bring out the pure love and create that in all aspects of the life. And we saw that, like you said, Lisa, immediately after we did the stratosphere, the ceremony around the stratosphere. And yes, Katie came to Denver and she did that. And then we did some water weaving here as well and saw the difference immediately because it was reflected with birds and eagles flying and right over us after we did ceremony. And the rainbows appear. So we have the confirmation. And the whole thing is, it's the undoing to do. So if you look at your clocks, which don't exist because time is only an instrument that the deep state has given us, the cabal, but it goes what they call clockwise. Well, to undo, you do everything counterclockwise.
Yeah.
So when we were walking around the stratosphere, we had to go 3 times around counterclockwise to undo the codes of the evil of the draconian system. And then we allowed the positive energy to come through.
That was on July 24th. And
Wow, good memory.
well, because July 25th was the day out of time in the Mayan tradition, and which means we go in 360. How many days? 365, but 364 days. Yeah. And so the July 25th is always the day out of time. And it's about celebrating culture and our differences and peace. The peace flag, which is the 3 red circles on it. We hung it that day because I brought one. Or I sent it to Jason Q and he brought it to Las Vegas. So you also did one in Denver, didn't you, Michelle? Were you in part of that?
With Katie, yeah. So we did it in Denver.
Not Denver. No, I meant in Dallas.
I wasn't there when they did the one in Dallas.
Yeah, apparently.
But I just came back from Turkey and the Terceira in Portugal. And we did ceremony there, and we went to the 24th Stargate in Istanbul. And we did remarkable ceremony there where we reset the codes so that the negative entities can no longer penetrate the Stargate, and only the good energy and good souls can go through. Also, it released a lot of trapped souls. You could feel the darkness when we first got there of the trapped souls and the crying, and there were many channelers with us that were actually channeling their information. But after we did the ceremony, it was so light and they were so free. And these are some of the things that we are doing. And we get immediate confirmation from it. But it's very spiritual. We don't advertise. It's something we can talk about afterwards, but never prior to.
Michelle, can I add into that? Because I'm more of a newbie with you guys, which is so wonderful. That there in my discovery with doing the podcast too, how many souls there are out there doing just work like you. It's so heartfelt and so beautiful. Again, when you ever feel like you're by yourself in this, knowing that there are thousands of people doing the work that you're doing for everybody. Right. It's just so wonderful. So wonderful and necessary. And just to know that there's really some beautiful, good stuff going on right now as we speak. And you don't have to know about it, but it's happening.
Yeah.
And we can feel it. We can feel it in the atmosphere. And you could just feel the frequencies rising. And I don't know about the rest of you, but this last week especially, I can really sense the shift in the energies. And it's for the better, not for the worse, which is really nice.
Yeah.
And yes, like you said, Eden, there are light workers all around the world.
All over. Yes.
Doing the same work. And they don't have to be part of one group or another. They're just out there doing it.
Right. And not also, I'm getting credit for this. And everybody look at what I'm doing. It's like this underground, beautiful movement that's just happening.
Yeah.
So
No,
beautiful.
I was part
Yeah.
of a group that used to do grid work on a regular basis for 2 years, where we were clearing the grids and allowing the energies to flow through. It's very powerful work and very important work, but most people don't understand, but we're interdimensional beings. And so our energy comes in from different dimensions. So it's not just clearing here, it's clearing, and we are portals ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We are individual portals. And something that's really cool, and I don't know if you guys know the answer to this, but I forget what it is for every person, every light worker who's on this planet exponentially. You only need a certain percentage of people who are awake to really make major changes in this universe, or at least on this planet. You don't need 100%. You don't even need 50%. I
Right.
think it's somewhere like 10 or 20% of
That's
light
what I was
workers
thinking.
doing their work.
Well, it's kind of reflects the hundredth monkey story, where the monkey,
Yes.
the baby monkey starts washing the yam and eats it, and then the mother starts, and then the rest of the monkeys on the island do, and then all the islands around, all the monkeys started washing their yams. So once we hit that critical mass, it's called, and I don't know, some people say it's 144,000. I would believe we're almost there. And yeah, I mean, to truly in their heart, not the ones doing spiritual bypass either. It's, you really have to come back to, I mean, I was living up here in fifth dimension, and oh my God, what's happening in the third dimension? And shit hit the fan in 2020, in March. And yeah, and then I shut everything down and just started digging down rabbit holes, and really I had a bunch of light workers living here. I says, just throw me a rope because I'm going deep. And I haven't stopped since. So once you really realize that it's not about doing spiritual bypass, it's about they're out doing the work and going to the events and speaking at these events, and bring your own gifts forward. I mean, whatever. I can't talk about politics. I mean, I understand it all, but a lot, I should say, but I can't talk about it. I mean, not to the point of senates and all this stuff. I'm Canadian, right? I can't even vote, I tell people. But just to bring humanity together, because it is all about us, and us as women is the center point of, I mean, we are the portal with our womb, right? And creation is born through us. We are the creator.
And as you said, Carole, it just takes one, or at least both of you said this, and I'm just going to iterate, is that whatever we put out there, it's picked up by the collective consciousness.
Yeah.
Or what they call the Christ consciousness. So all we have to do is put that thought out, and it goes to the many. And we're doing this work, and it's all with the power within us, because we have that power, and we need to go more within than without. Quit looking outside.
Yeah.
Go within and start looking within, and bring that essence forward.
I completely agree. And one of the things that's really important as we enter the time of ascension, because it's momentary, we have to clear out our own stuff, and that's an inside job, right?
Yes, indeed.
Yep. So that's what we do, and that's what so many other people do, is that, how much do you want to carry with you? Because it's like walking through a screen. It's like, leave it all behind. Forgiveness and letting go is critical right now. You want to hold on to resentments, you want to hold on to anger. The only person you're hurting is yourself.
Yeah.
So as we move and as we're ascending, you need to let go of all of that. And your life will be so much freer. And miracles will start to happen once you start to do that.
And I will say, Lisa, with that too, not to put pressure on anybody, but I always say if I'm holding on to it, I'm holding on to it it does affect everybody else. So that gives me extra push to get through things. And I also feel that so much of this is about, instead of being, an ascended master, it's about human embodiment, being our master here on this earth, because it is so important for us to be here and not up in the heavens and looking at this and being spiritual, yet being spiritual in the skin. And that's what's so freaking hard, because it's easy to go, oh, look at that pretty light up there, and oh, I'm going to go there. Like, that's been one of my challenges, is to come into this body, to be this human, to be in it, yet not of it, to be calm. My mentor, when she found out a long time ago that my company was called Just Be, she laughed and laughed. She's like, "Oh, Eden, this is going to be so hard for you and such a good thing for you to do. Look at what you named, because you didn't name it for other people. You named it for yourself." Yeah, very true.
Well, what we teach is what we got to learn, right?
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah. And, sometimes it's even easier, because when I moved to Costa Rica, 3 days after I signed the contract, I had a mudslide and took everything that I brought to Costa Rica and the house I was living in. So I've had 3 big near-death experiences, and walked out 10 minutes before. But sometimes, things, we got to look at the beauty of it. And I said, I want a clean canvas. Well, I got a clean canvas. Now the Yoni garden is there. Vagina garden is actually a Vesica Pisces with, lipstick palms all around, 7 lipstick palms on either side, and bougainvillea trees in the middle, which is the heart chakra opening. A lot of people go and we use the bark to make tea for heart opening for different ceremonies. And so, it is about learning to walk between the worlds too, though. That's really what, between the 3rd dimension and still hold our energy, and even walking through a grocery store to hold your light and to shine your light, because what we say, whatever you touch, you leave your footprint or your fingerprint behind, and it should be a fingerprint of light. And so our goodness, put it that way. We all have a dark side isn't negative. That's just, we got to have both. It's not a negative thing. It's just, we're taught to be scared of the dark, even from very young children. So it's really hard for people to go inside because it's dark when you close your eyes. Right. So, and then they go within. But I don't want to be there when there's so much going on out here, television's going and music and all the distractions that we can have in our life. So what I say to people is inventory your life, write down every, it's kind of a direction you can do, right? By inventorying life. So,
well, your shadow, sorry,
what?
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, to just carry on from what you said, Carole. Yes, we need the dark in order to know what the light is. And there is no good and bad. Or no right and wrong. It's just a learning experience that we go through. And the more times that we're kicked down, we're going to learn more from that, as opposed to having complete success all the time. So we need both sides. And there's always going to be the evil and the good. What are you going to learn from that? And what is your experience, and how are you going to take and move forward from that?
Right. Well, they woke us up. I mean, and that's, I said, let's celebrate the dark side, because they woke us up.
They did.
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
showing more. They're showing more now than the good side is, or the white.
The foolish thing is, if they had just left things alone and not done this complete debacle 4 years ago,
good point,
we would still be sleeping along, and they'd still be bringing in all of their millions and billions and trillions of dollars. But they had to go that next step to take over. And what I'll say about the shadow is, the shadow to me is your life purpose. Because no one knows that darkness as much as you. And when you can overcome that, then you know that no one knows that as well as you do. And that becomes your purpose. So when people are here, like, I want to find my purpose. I want to find my purpose. Why am I here? I'm like, look at your shadow.
Yeah.
Because when you heal your shadow, then you will have lived your purpose.
Well, that's bringing light into every aspect of our life experiences. It's not just about the body. It's about what happened to you at 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever it is. You have to go into those parts where people have shut down and closed the door, or stuffed it in a drawer, or in their hips, or in their belly, or wherever they're stuffing their emotions, and to bring light into those areas, into that life experience, even if it's a rape. It's to find the diamonds in the dog shit, is what I call it. And I think the hardest thing to find would be if you backed over your own child. and to still find the diamond in that, you know, like in everything. And that's why even through every job we've had has brought us forward into where we are today, including the mudslide. Do I have the balls to stay in the jungles of Costa Rica and rebuild? I mean, it took out one of the houses, and you know, it was a lot of pull up your boots and get to work. And that's really what we are in that landslide, until we pull up our boots and start creating something new. And that's what us women can do. I mean, and the men can help us, but we're the creators. And now, how are we going to bring in the divine feminine energy, which happens every 13,000 years? And we're in the 26,000 years where the serpent eats its tail. And this will happen again. It'll happen to the women. When the women start, it goes like that. It's just the men, the masculine energy, I shouldn't say male, but masculine energy is destroying itself. And then the feminine will rise, and then the feminine energy will destroy itself. And then the masculine rises again. And it switches every 13,000 years, according to the Mayan tradition. So, yeah.
And the Mayan tradition also gave us the 28-day calendars.
Yeah.
And this is what we're going to go back to. And talking about how we bring the light in from the darkness. Just look what happened with Helene and Milton. And you had total destruction. People were, like the one lady said, I just bought those appliances last year, and we had to throw everything out of those homes because they were totally destroyed because of the rise in the sewage in the homes. Yet you saw the people coming together. So that was the bright side, that it's we the people. And if we let the people just do their work, because people are inherently good. You know, we're not Christians, we're people. And we all came together and we were working together. And there was no talk about any division or any divisiveness. It was all, we are one and the same. We're all brothers and sisters. And we needed to come together, and we did.
Yeah. Look at when we were walking through Walmart, and with like we had 10 carts. Every one of us had a cart, and some had 2 carts, and everyone was so joyful within. I got an email from someone. I still haven't emailed back. It just came in, but I met you in Walmart and you were collecting batteries or flashlights or something. She wanted to ask me some questions about Costa Rica. So yeah, I mean, and the joy that people saw what we were doing. And I mean, and we were doing it very joyfully. We're you know, sadness on the face or anything. And you know, when we brought them to that center we were in Tampa and we did 3 days of restoration for people that maybe aren't aware. Michelle and I and the rest of the Unity tour, and of course Lisa showed up with pizza because we had to eat. I think that was the last day, wasn't it? Yeah. And so yeah, I mean, I said to that lady that we were dropping off all this water and supplies, all this out of the U-Haul truck. And I just, you know, she said, I can't believe this. I looked at her, I said, Trump sent us. And she stiffened up. She stiffened up and she gave me a hug, and she melted into my arms and was crying.
Wow.
So, you know, tears came from her eyes.
Wow.
Wow.
And you know, do y'all think, Lisa, you go ahead.
So Carole,
no, what I was going to
say, Carole had started saying how she mentioned that Trump sent us. So then I started doing the same thing. So it was all that, and it was funny because most of them were Harris supporters, but they embraced us, and it opened up dialogue that we could talk with each other. And like I said, people are inherently good. And they're going to come together and they're going to work with one another to help one another, because that's what we do. And the mother, the Matriot influence, I love that word, that new terminology, it just shines through and brings it forth.
Yeah, no, one of the things that was so frustrating in all the work that you guys were doing, I came in at the tail end of it, but to see all of the trash from people's homes. And what happened was the sewer, the septic system backed up from the overflow. So there was, you name it, everywhere. So everything had to be put out on the sidewalks to be taken out. Now, what was crazy was the dumps closed and they stopped all the pickups. And Milton was coming in, which meant refrigerators, washing machines, all kinds of stoves were now going to become projectiles.
Yeah, mattresses and bed frames
Mattresses,
and
couches, you name it. And it was all done on purpose.
yeah.
And then I think, what was it, the governor put in a mandate and said, open those back up when he got word that all of those places were going to. So I haven't heard anything. Did you hear anything of how those places fared during Milton and what happened? Because I know that it was not a 5, but they still were impacted by the storms as well.
Oh yeah.
The only thing that I had heard, because I have friends that are in the Tampa area and Sarasota areas, they had flooding, but we knew that the flooding was going to be there because Ybor City in Florida to Disney World, the flooding had to come through to clean out the tunnels. And they did.
We stayed in Ybor City. That was where the house, 5-bedroom house was. Yeah. It was in
Okay.
Ybor.
So they
Do
got
y'all feel? Well, I was going to ask you, you guys, in terms of North Carolina, I also feel that that is going to be waking a whole bunch of people up too when FEMA's not helping, when people are feeling isolated, and the only way they get help is through other people. I think there's a whole bunch of like, again, boop, eyes coming up, going, something's not right here.
absolutely, and that's exactly what has happened is FEMA has not come through to help. And it's the people. I mean, it was individual people that brought their own helicopters in
Yeah.
Yeah,
to
it's incredible.
pick up the goods that were donated. And I have to give Lewis Herms with the Unity Tour and Truth Tour so much gratitude and to honor him because he right away got on the pipe and tried to get other people to come in and help. And the donations have been extreme. Apparently, he had 10 more trucks, U-Haul trucks filled with donations
Wow.
delivered to the Asheville area or the North Carolina area.
Yeah.
But again, it's the people that are coming together there that are doing all the work. The government is nowhere to be found. So
Yeah, we
again,
brought in the dogs. They brought in the dogs,
yeah,
cadaver dogs, and Lewis's should, well, he should have today or tomorrow the new documentary out, which is called Hurricane Hell, and it's on hurricanehell.com. And they're good. That was group Boots on the Ground, and Master Baggy was there also, and they were all filming and interviewing people as they were digging, and he really wanted to bring the truth back out. And I think he was using clips from other people. We're sending clips in and what happened really there. And we got to be the boots on the ground to tell the story too. It's not just about helping. It's got to tell the story to get other people to help also. I mean, that's what the real news should be doing, not the fake news that didn't even show up. You don't hear anything.
And now I'm hearing that the cadaver dogs are dying. They're getting sick. And a lot of the people who are going up there, that there's some kind of radiation that was limited because they want to take control of all of that land. They're condemning all of the land because because of the lithium deposits and the quartz deposits. So they're going to extreme measures to confiscate land.
They think there's something bigger than that, though.
Yes.
Really?
Also, the reason that the dogs and people are perishing that are walking through there is because they had a lot of nuclear waste. That was
the radiation.
That was also they were hoarding it.
Lewis says we do not have proof on that, so he was saying to hold back on that, just because. I mean, I heard lots of videos on that too, and from people living there. Right. Don't touch the mud, right?
Yes, that's what I keep hearing.
But in some ways it'll decompose the bodies too, because they think there's over 5,000. They're more than 9/11, and the lists are huge. If you ever look at any of the lists that people are still missing, and then yet the news says, oh, there's 26 people still missing.
Yeah, and the other thing is they've already asked for 10,000 body bags, so that gives you some clue. And he apparently has already confirmed that there were over 3,000 deaths that they've confirmed.
Wow.
Wow.
But the anticipation is it's going to be 10,000 or more.
Okay.
Well, when you think of that,
Oh.
they're way up in the mountains, a lot of them,
Maybe.
kind of off the grid, probably, not even coming into town that often. And
Right.
the house, if everything's washed away, how would you know? A lot of them just kind of live on their own and do their own thing.
Right.
So,
Well, my understanding is also what I've heard is they're all hunters. And so they're
oh yeah.
picking off female agents as they're coming
Yeah.
up.
Oh man. Can we
I
for just a
can't
second?
confirm that.
Well, I think that's a beautiful visual. Let me take this moment, because there is so much fear, and as we're talking about, hell and how, but also understanding that we all came onto this earth knowing
Yeah.
that these things were going to happen, that knowing that we were some of us are going to perish for the shots. We're going to be involved in some of these
Yeah.
hurricanes. So it's a beautiful occasion. Again, this is one of those things where, oh my gosh, I could get so sad about everything. Yet I have this faith and this understanding that it needs to be this way and that we're
Right.
all going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. Can y'all comment to that as well?
I'm a firm believer in that we contract, and
Yeah.
on an unconscious level, before we came in, for circumstances to happen, that they sacrificed to awaken people. So I do believe that. It's just still, as a human being, it's still
Yes, I get
sad,
that.
and it's hard to wrap your brain around it.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I
sad
think,
to look
yeah,
at, but I do believe that, like you said, Lisa, we all had the soul contract that we came in with. We knew what we were coming in for. But as Carole had said before, we have to find the joy. There's no reason to have any fear. We need to let go of the fear because that's what the
Yeah.
cabal feeds on. And we don't need the evil taking our energy and expanding their energies from that. So if we can find joy and substitute the fear for joy, we're going to put that out into the collective consciousness, and that's going to radiate.
Right.
yeah. Yeah, I think I believe that we were appointed, we were given a mission, and
Yeah.
our soul has gifts, definitely gifts. And so the light has appointed us, and we've come with those gifts because we walked this path many times in the past, and because our soul never dies, so it's a level of consciousness, basically.
Yeah.
But I even say to a lot of people, "Oh, my sister can't do that." Yeah, I says, well, maybe that's her mission, is to piss you off and to wake you up and to get you stronger. And maybe she's a master, and maybe she's been through this before, and they've come down.
Yes.
Their mission was here to wake us up in a different way. And
Mhm.
here we're trying to get everyone to wake up and save them. And, it's about coming back and putting on your own oxygen mask first. And so a lot of those souls probably came in here for this mission. And so, I mean, a lot of people say that, you pick your parents, but then why would someone pick that, right? I think we're appointed because we've walked that path so many times, and we have all the gifts to walk forward with that power. It's just awakening up our own gifts within ourselves and bringing that together in the collective, into the divine mind, into the divine creativity. And because every one of us are so special. I mean, we all are so special. Just look at our faces. We all have different characteristics that we can bring forward.
And
You
so
know,
is the other side as well.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
all we can do is send them in love and light and say thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We, as you said, at this point, it's not our job to try to awaken them. Everybody's ascending at their own level. So we have some that are in preschool, we have some that are in first grade, we have some that are in college. I can't teach calculus to a fifth grader. It just won't compute. So we just have to let everybody grow and ascend at their own rate and just do it with love and light and send them on their own way and be grateful. Be grateful for everything. I mean, every morning I wake up and I say, thank you. It's a beautiful day, and thank you for letting me experience this. What exciting times we're in. I mean, how many 26,000 years to eradicate the evil.
Yeah.
And we're here watching it. And we're all part of it. And we all just have one little piece of a puzzle, a big puzzle, but we're all coming together because we need all these pieces to come together in order to complete the puzzle.
It's like I wake up at 4 a.m. and I'm straight onto my phone. What's happened since I've been sleeping? And it's funny, I have a Ben here from the UK. He's a friend of knows Mark Atwood and Tom Numbers. And he showed up here. He did a bug out from UK. And when I was dropping him off, he said at about, I don't know, 11 o'clock this morning, we were at the farmer's market in San Isidro. And he says, can't you just hardly wait to get back on the internet to see what's happened in the last 3 hours or 4 hours? You know, it's like, and that's the joy. We can find the joy in it. And it, you know, every piece of the puzzle, even the negative stuff comes out. What's going to come out? Because it seems to all of a sudden shift, go way over to this side. And then the pendulum goes this way and then that way. You know, it's like this back and forth. And to find that joy within ourselves, and show that to other people and smile, and it's going to be good, right? And it's like wearing my white Trump hat everywhere. Everyone was going in. There was nice hat, or you know, one guy in the airport. Yeah, he's nice hat, and I says, "Oh, how come you're not wearing your paraphernalia?" And he's, "My wife hates Trump." You know, like, and I says, "Wow, that must be hard to live with." And he says, "Well." He says, least I can see it in you, you know, like, because a lot of people are scared to even put a sign on their front lawn because, yeah. And wear everything with joy. And that's the first time I don't wear labels at all. Why, Lewis, he got a We the People t-shirt on me in Albany. And he says, I have to take a picture. Because I says, no, I can't wear that. It's not linen. Right.
Oh my gosh. Carole, can I mention this? Like I do have merchandise right now, and it's not about selling merchandise, but it's about having people ask questions. So I wore this Trump Matrix breaker out to lunch one day, and these two gentlemen at another table, I could hear them go, "What's a matrix?" So just asking, and I had on I'm a dimensional girl t-shirt the other day, and someone said, what are dimensions? What does that mean? And why are you a dimensional girl? So the conversations that come up are just awesome. And I also want to plug in there talking about the, it's more than this word, but the benefits that are coming on in terms of us moving out of the slavery system, that I believe that the karmas that we've been in all these centuries, that all of that is going to start dissolving, that in terms of us being more sovereign beings. And I mean, it's just, again, where we are right now, it is so, I get it so hard at times, but it is so friggin' exciting. Can y'all also give more credence to what is going on from a spiritual aspect?
Well, we all are sovereign beings.
Yeah.
You know, God bestowed us with these inalienable rights that cannot be taken away from us.
Right.
I mean, we concede them, but they can't be taken away from us unless we allow that to happen. And if we stay in with those laws, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Love your neighbor as you love yourself, but you got to love yourself first. And in order to do that, you've got to forgive everyone else, but you've got to forgive yourself.
No, forgifting. Remember it. Forgiveness.
That's right. I like that.
I love that. Oh my gosh, you're full of them, Carole. I'm going to write that down. Forgifting and matriarch. You need to put a book together now of sayings. So one thing I want to talk about is we all have the ability to heal ourselves.
Yes.
And when I think about who I was 25 years ago when I had my breakdown, and I sit there and I think about, I never would have dreamed that I would heal myself enough to get to where I'm doing and do the things that I'm doing. Because some of the things that I'm holding space for is now I'm holding space for other people to heal themselves. I'm not doing anything. So I look at people who go, wow, well, you get to do this. I don't have that. And you said that before, Michelle, we all have our own skills and talents. It's about freeing yourself up enough of all of these negative belief systems and finding that one thing, finding that thing that makes you blossom. And it was interesting because I got a chance to become friends with Tom Althouse, who I met at the Tampa event. And The fascinating thing is when you think about one person enduring all the things that he has.
Yeah.
And if for those people who don't know him, he wrote the original Matrix. They're called the Immortals, and the movie industry stole his information and they distorted it. So the Matrix now, when you hear red pill and blue pill, and this was one of the most astonishing things that I heard from him out of
I
his
would
mouth,
agree.
is that the blue pill is the good pill. The red pill was about the children and adrenochrome.
Yeah.
So when we use the term red pilling, you have to completely change. So we have to do that as we ascend and as we're moving through. We have to really be aware of our words and our thoughts
Yeah.
because everything in our world got turned upside down and distorted. So try not to use red pill anymore because that's not what it means. And we have to look into the meanings of the words that we use and how we use it and look at the gifts that these things, because Tom had two of his children murdered by Hollywood.
Yeah.
And now he's living a life where he's finally around people who are kind. Like what I hope Lewis understands is not only what he has created is an information network, but he's created a family and a place of healing on so many different levels. I would not know all of you without him. I would not have ventured and spoken out and been as vocal as I have without him. And I hope he really understands the leadership that he has brought in and what he is truly doing on such a deep level. And I'm so grateful because I would not be who I am today without having met him.
Well, and I'll add to that, Lisa, with me coming in here
Even
new,
ripped them up.
that it's not just patriots and truthers, but it's very spiritual. Like for us being here and talking about what we're talking about, but to also be in with other people who may not have the same views. It's again bringing this collective together, this consciousness together. And I love that we can just be as out there as we need to be, because I mean, to me, that's what this is. Like, I can't stop. And I love
Well,
being here with you women. Strong. It takes strength to do this, doesn't
yeah.
it? And
Oh,
to
yeah.
stand up and to be, and I've got the Trump sign on my front yard. I've got the civil flag hanging out there, and I'm on a busy street. So people coming by, like my neighbors also went, Eden, I was in Girl Scouts and he was in Boy Scouts, and we've never seen that flag before. So I had a cute little brochure. So the civil flag is the peace flag. And I sent her a picture of what it looks like. And I did say, hey, did you think I was in the KKK or something? Because she came pretty tersely at me. So I wanted to acknowledge that terseness, but bring love into it as well. So I never thought I would be putting these things out in my yard, speaking the way I'm speaking. It's been, all of this has been tremendous growth for me.
Yeah.
And that's what Lewis started with, the We the People shirts that Carole, because it wasn't linen, really didn't want to wear. But it has opened up so many conversations for me as I've been wearing it, and I wear it almost daily. And some other shirts, again, like you said, Eden, to just generate
Put it out there.
conversation and questions. And that opens it up where we can start questioning them and get them to question themselves more. And it's we the people. We're coming together. Forget this divisiveness. Forget these political parties. They don't help us at all. We don't
No.
need them. Government controls the mind. We don't need to be controlled. We can choose for ourselves. We have the power within to make our own decisions on what's best for us. And it's we the people coming together. And Lewis has done that. And I especially like his brand of We the People Are the Plan, because we the people together can change everything. And what we want to see this new earth become, it's coming through our thoughts. Whatever our thoughts are, we're creators. You know, God created all of us. Yeshua said, all the things I do, you will do and more, because we're all equal. We're all brothers and sisters. We're all daughters and sons, mothers and fathers, but we are all our creators' creations, and we create. So what we want to see we can put out in our thoughts, it will manifest in reality, and it goes out immediately to the collective consciousness. So keep that in mind, that, as you said, the words we use are so important, and our thoughts are so important. So you can find pain, or you can find, like Carole said, find some joy out of that pain. What are you going to reap from that? I choose joy. And
Well, joy means to join. It's a yoke, like yoke. Joy is joined within yourself. Happiness is, oh, I got a new car, right? And you're happy for about a week. And but to be joined within and to join with each other as we come back together. And there's lots of family units, spiritual family units, which is called a monad. And we bring those together. And even through this whole process for the last 4 years, we've seen a lot fall off through what we started with, and people coming more and more solid together. And I was telling Lewis is that it's more like it doesn't matter how many people, followers, or whatever you want to call it, watching, subs, if you want to, subscribers to a channel. You have a core essence of a very strong people that never miss the 4 o'clock news with Robert and Lewis. And, I've been on every single truth tour except that, what was it called? Oh, shit. Freedom in Action, where they did that short one, it wasn't really a tour. It was more just meetings to bring people, like, how to do things at
So, Carole, can you say how many tours were there? How many have you been on?
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I was in Vegas. Well, I wasn't on the full tour where they went counterclockwise, because then I told Lewis, "Oh, you better go clockwise now." He didn't even know he was doing it, but he was doing it. Yeah, and then the second one was in
Anaheim.
Yeah, but from Tampa to Anaheim, I flew in to Tampa, and then I did what, 4 or 5, 6 maybe, and then there was Hawaii. There was San Diego and Nashville, and now this one.
6.
This one I was supposed to speak at. I got to speak at one city.
Yeah, I was supposed
Then we
to. I was
canceled.
supposed to speak in New Hampshire and Massachusetts, and you guys stopped in Albany and went, and I was like, oh, I missed out. So at least I got to speak in Tampa. But so grateful for this group. So grateful for all of you and the wisdom here. Amazing Matriots.
Matriots. Well, we talked earlier before we even started that it's so important that now, as we're coming closer and closer to the elections, is that people don't let anything deter my mind. It's always coming back to the breath and finding our center point for your families, for first and foremost for yourself. Don't just to be the observer. Observe what's happening.
Right.
Don't buy into the emotion, because if there's fear, then that's a feeling. The feelings is where we manifest, is a feeling. It's not an emotion. The emotions are just are between the energy flowing between the feelings and the thoughts.
Yes.
So to keep your family stable, you don't have to get in, I told you so, nothing like this. Just stay centered and breathe and watch. Stay centered and breathe and watch.
And use your discernment, because there's a lot of misinformation and fear-mongering of things. I even watched someone who I thought was someone who I really respected, and I watched them do something that created a lot of fear around the financial situation. And I was like, wow, did not expect that. But I honestly believe that everyone's going to be okay.
Yeah, me too.
In the deepness of my heart, because normally I would feel the fear and anticipation. I don't. I feel complete peace right now. I feel, yes, is there going to be a bumpy road? Yes, because anytime you're flipping everything around, people are afraid of change. But the change is good, and keep remembering that, because I think it's really important for us to remind ourselves that we are letting go of something that was really harmful and did a lot of damage to people. And just because it's the devil, doesn't mean it's the right thing.
Actually, we could embrace change.
Yeah,
because change allows us for growth. And we can really expand if we accept the change. Those that are caught in the matrix, so to say, and just want to do the same thing over and over because of fear of letting go and trying something different, are always going to be stuck in that matrix. So embrace the change, move forward with it, and learn the different aspects that you can go through. I think the other thing that is so important right now, in terms of all of the information that's going out, we need to speak truth and to be authentic.
Yeah.
And that's gonna show up with everyone, because everyone can immediately feel it. It's, well, like you said, Carole, a feeling, but it's something that we can feel from one another. I can get into spaces where I just want to be drawn to that person. And in Tampa, there were people that were coming up to me and saying, "Can I hug you?" And it was just, it was such a great feeling, because you can feel the frequencies between them and how pure they are. And again, I think the most important things that we can do is to speak truth and be authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't try to change for anyone else.
Yeah.
Be
What I
yourself.
was going to say, if you're getting prepared, get prepared as if Christmas is coming and you're doing your shopping, and so much excitement to buy generators and batteries and flashlights, and Christmas is coming. And if nothing happens, you got all your Christmas shopping done. This is how we can think. And as women, like I say, we are the center of the universe. I mean, we are the womb, right? And the creator. Nothing no human being is created without coming through the mother, and the mother, and the earth is our mother, and she's been raped and I can't even say it. Pillaged. And they keep saying, I mean, oil is her veins, and she can keep making oil. It's not coming from old dinosaurs. There was no such things. So, and she's evolving, and to be excited if there is, whatever is a natural disaster, we don't really know if those are natural and sped up or influenced. But it's happening, and it's happening to bring to light. And the more we can bring to light, if everyone would have just ignored North Carolina or even Maui, we were all on Maui too. I mean, it's still coming up, even with the new disasters coming. So just breathe. And these souls came here to be part of this. And as we walk forward, just like our ancestors, we walk forward with pride and dignity for our lineage, for the human race, and just get into our alignment within ourselves. That's why my show is called The Great Alignment, and in all areas of life.
Nice. And I will add on to that too. Be and joy, even though things seem like they're falling apart. If you can hold that high vibration of love, and Carole, I think you were talking about going out to the grocery store. It doesn't matter at this point who I meet. I look at them. And especially if I'm going to a restaurant, or, hey, what's your name? Like, not just, a true connection. Like, I see you, and I'm going to give you this joy. And the response that people looking at you going, oh my God, you see me. And I feel within you that your heart is open. Like, they also know that something is different, that I'm coming in from a different place, not trying to manipulate them or get my food early or whatever, but just hanging. Ooh, I'm getting chills right now. Hanging in that vibration, and knowing, for you guys, being powerful and being centered, that's what it's all about. So encouraging everyone else to also just go, like Lisa said too, go into your dark sides, because once you're in there, you realize that they don't have any power over you, and they're good. Like, one of my things was, I can't be loud, or I can't express my anger. And that anger was passion. So I was not expressing my passion. And now, oh my gosh, I'm expressing it all over the place.
I think about as a child, as a little girl, I loved to talk. And my parents were always like, you have verbal diarrhea, Lisa. You need to be quiet.
Oh,
Be quiet, be quiet. And then I laugh because now for a living, I talk.
Same thing.
I think we probably all, as children, were overly vocal.
Too
I
much.
remember that
Yeah.
one of the report cards I got from school is Michelle is very helpful, but she needs to mind her own business and quit talking.
Oh my God, Carole, did that happen to you too? Because in the deep South, where I grew up in the United States, it was like, no, you talk too much and you have to be kind and sweet. Otherwise, people won't like you. Did you experience that? I think that's so interesting that,
Yeah, I don't think so much. I was kind of the class clown. I'd always have jokes and yeah, and so yeah, and like our passion is our fire. We need to bring, and passion is in the sacral chakra, and we
Right.
need to flame our fire. And so anger, we got to switch those up. We can implode or explode, or we can if we work with our fire, cooperate with the fire. What is it? It's co-rage. You work with the rage.
Ah,
It's courage.
yeah.
And yeah, we've got it. Otherwise, we bottle it up and we've had a gutful, and we need our lungs are
gosh.
a bellow. It's like a flaming, what do you call this thing? When you flame
The
a
bellows.
bellowing, our lungs are the bellow to flame the fire that's in our guts, where the fire is, where we cook our food, is the solar plexus. And then we burn off the water. So anyone that gets pneumonia, they're not bringing up their fire. So the water goes into the lungs like clouds and vapor. And then you get pneumonia. So you want to clear the body and bring all that fire up and through us. So, and yeah, start marching forward. So yeah, we got a good road ahead of us. I'm really excited. I can hardly wait.
Yes,
I could hardly wait every day, especially the 27th now.
I know. Can we potentially end with this if you guys are all cool? Like, what do y'all feel is coming up? Because there's a lot of talk about things coming up very quickly.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Should we end with that?
I think,
Yeah.
let's all, whatever you have as a closing statement. Yeah, because we're getting near that time period.
I just want to say that I'm hearing from several different sources, probably after it'll all have happened before this will air after everything that's happened, but I really feel like something big is about to happen, and just stay centered and calm and relax and know that everything's in divine order. And I'm gonna have to take my own advice on that one too.
Yeah, I'm going to keep my feet in the river in eternal waters and keep just enjoying it. I can hardly wait till Sunday with I'm wondering who's going to be on stage in Madison Square Gardens. They sold out in 3 hours. It's a full house, and he's 3-4. That guy's a ever ready bunny. He never quits. Never quits. And they're all full force behind him now. Everyone's marching forward. And I guess tomorrow, Friday, whatever day this is going to be aired, Friday is he's on Joe Rogan. So that's a massive thing.
I saw Cliff High did a thing about that there were people who years ago who were what is it called when they
Astral
projections, that they said that interview, they saw it like in 2016, was going to change the work. Whatever gets said in that interview is going to be monstrous.
No
That
way.
he was going to, so keep an eye on that.
Wow. Okay. And I'll add this is more long term than in the next couple of weeks, but apparently in March of this year, there's going to be a huge astrological shift as well. So that alone is going to bring a breath of peace on Earth. So that's good too.
Yeah.
It's remote viewing, Lisa.
Yes. Thank you. That was the word I was looking for. It's remote viewing.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna, there's something big supposed to come out today, like about Kamala.
That's right.
She's got the same birthday as me. She's got the 20th, the same birthday as me.
Wow.
She's a 246, same numbers as me. And she's a red serpent, so am I.
Wow.
So I'm the good kind, but she's got a different tone. She's got a different tone. Yeah. I don't even remember what she is. But day before yesterday was Trump's 107. And that was Tuesday. That day was a blue electric hand, and that's Trump's galactic signature, which is 107, 107.
Mm.
So yeah, lots of really weird coincidences. Like always, the numbers are coming up everywhere. So
Well, the only thing that I would like to add to that is that our Creator created everything. We have abundance. Acknowledge that you have abundance coming to you, that you are worthy of it, and you're deserving of that abundance. And 2025 is supposed to be the year of abundance for all of us. But we're already here where we can accept that abundance. So stay in joy, keep your frequencies high, and just enjoy
love
the
to do this
ride.
again. Love to do
Well,
this again. Maybe, a few weeks or
Yes.
after November 5th, maybe we can.
I
Yeah.
think we should do this. I don't even want to leave you
I
right
agree.
now. This has
Yeah.
been
I
so much fun.
know. I know.
So have
Yeah.
y'all ever seen with connecting consciousness or whatever? I think that's Simon Parks. So
Yeah.
there were 4 women that would do, I don't know if it was a monthly broadcast as well. And I feel like kind of tied to that. Like it's our version of that. So for everybody listening, watching, like right now, I'm feeling so good and empowered, just like you said, Michelle, just the high vibration that's here and knowing that will emit to everybody who's listening and watching. I have such gratitude for being here today. Seriously.
I am so honored to be with all of you. And yes, I feel so content.
Oh,
And I do feel such joy. And I'm just going to hang on to that and love you, ladies. Thank you.
I
And I
love you
think we
too.
should do this.
thank you.
All right. Thank you
Yeah.
so
Thank
much.
you.